Joining me in the studio is our International Affairs Editor, Philip Turle. Philip, while the conference is about rebuilding Ukraine in the long term, it's also about the immediate needs, given that the country is facing a severe humanitarian crisis this winter.
Yeah, and those needs are immense and increasing every day. And that was the reason, I think, that President Emmanuel Macron of France decided to call this conference as an emergency way of trying to help the Ukrainians get through this winter. I was just looking at temperatures over the next few days, and they can go down to like -10, -15 in the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv. One shudders to think how people are going to get by there where they've got no heating, water is freezing over, they've got no electricity, and all they can do is just light fires with bits of wood and paper they can find. So I think there is definitely a feeling in France that the French and the rest of Europe have to do as much as they can to help all these poor Ukrainians get through the winter. So what the French president is attempting to do here is to build a mechanism which is called the Paris mechanism, and that is to let people know in real times where the urgency is. Do they need, for example, fuel? Do they need generators? Do they need ways of helping them get through the winter by giving them more food? There are four key words as far as this conference is concerned. They are water, food, energy and health. And so with this mechanism that's being set up, that's being approved by the delegates taking part, it's hoped that the aid will be more pinpointed exactly where it's needed, and not there's going to be a bonus of aid for generators, for example, and then on the other hand people will need food, as we were seeing in that report just now. There are lots of people who need food, but maybe they'll get that food, but in other areas like heating and power, maybe they might not get that so quickly. So that's what this conference is trying to do, to set up this mechanism whereby people will be given what they need in real time when they need it.
Now, in regards to the long term, are we looking at another Marshall-type plan? You know, where you're going to get American companies vying for business alongside European companies?
There are two things taking place today. The first one was this morning at the Foreign Ministry, which is to discuss what is going on immediately as far as helping the Ukrainians get through the winter. Second one this afternoon is at the Finance Ministry. So both of these parts of the conference are being inaugurated by President Emmanuel Macron. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president, spoke this morning. His wife is present for both sessions today. And this one this afternoon is about rebuilding Ukraine. So 500 French companies or so are already expressing interest in helping Ukraine get rebuilt. Now, we've got no sign of a ceasefire anytime soon. This is a very long-term prospect on it. But they've said, look, we want to get involved in Ukraine. This is a big market that we're interested in. They're not the only ones, of course. The Americans are keeping an eye on what's going on there. They would like to get involved as well. But I think the underlying factor here, especially as far as Europe is concerned, is that there are two things. We're going to help Ukraine rebuild itself. There are going to be contracts worth billions of euros to get the country back on its feet. It's not just repairing, it's absolutely recreating something new for the country where it's been totally destroyed. We can't just rebuild what has already been knocked down. We're going to make something much better. But at the same time, it's saying to Ukraine, we are keeping an eye on your country and we will back you when and if you want to join the European Union. That is the next plan that is being discussed at this conference. And I think that if that candidacy is accepted by the EU, then France will be the first one to help Ukraine become a member of the European Union. But of course, as I was saying, this is a very long-term prospect at the moment. The most important thing is helping the Ukrainians get through the winter.
Philip Turle, thank you.